big thank you to Bombas for sponsoring this video.
So guys, in this video, I wanted to go through my pond hockey essentials real quick, but before we jump into it, whatever I don't include that's inside your pond hockey essentials or outdoor hockey essentials, ODR, comment down below and let me know what you have as a must-have for when you're playing outside. Now, the first thing I'm going to kick off with is going to be the bag. This is a bag from Conway & Banks, and I'm sure the name rings a bell. If you are thinking about the Mighty Ducks, that's exactly where the company name comes from. They make goalie bags, player bags, junior bags, but this edition, in terms of being able to carry light hockey equipment if you're playing outside, this is an absolute must-have. It's really awkward to have to carry like a helmet, a pair of skates, your gloves, your stick, and find a bag that can fit all of that in that's not too bulky, because of course who wants to bring their entire kit bag when you're just having a little bit of stick and puck fun on the ice. So this is essential for carrying light hockey equipment when you're playing on outdoor rinks, but it'll also be really good if you're a ref, perhaps a coach, or you're just going for some stick and puck in an indoor rink. This bag is phenomenal. It's got loads of sections on it, loads of different dividers, lots of different areas for you to put different bits. I'll run through all of the different compartments of the bag shortly, but this is a really, really must-have for the winter season. Now let's jump inside and take a look at what's inside the bag in terms of my essentials. Now, some of these are going to be quite obvious. The ones that I'm going to leave out is going to be things like a hat, where you want to have a beanie, a toque, a scarf, the clothes that you're going to be wearing. I'd like to try and have some waterproof bottoms and pants with me when I'm on the ice. Just if you take a fall or you take a spill, you're not going to get soaked. And aside from that, double socks, thick socks to keep your feet very warm. Now, some of the not so obvious things, especially if you're playing in a place that's not designed to play hockey. Right now we're on the Wash or on the Fen. This is actually like frozen marshland, that it's not like a lake or a pond or anything like that. It's essentially marshland that's flooded over and it freezes so we can skate on it. So this isn't somewhere that's, you know, a set ODR, which means there's not going to be benches, there's not going to be anywhere for you to sit down. So bringing a fold-up chair doesn't seem so obvious, but it's definitely essential, because you don't want to sit on the ice while you're taking your skates on, putting your shoes off, etc. So a chair, must have.
Question for you.
I'm filming, dude.
Sorry. My bad.
give me like 10-15 minutes, yeah?
Yeah,
cheers. No worries, no worries. Now, when we take a look inside the bag at some of the little accessories that I like to have with me, one of them that is a must for playing outside is going to be Blade Barber, which is a handheld skate sharpener that actually shaves surface off of the blade and retouches your edges. This is going to be ideal when you're playing somewhere like this, because there's no pro shop here. I didn't bring my sparks, although I could have. I didn't, because this is a lot more compact. This is something nice to have inside your bag in case you step on some stones or some grass or anything like that that will lose an edge. You don't have to worry about switching out your steel. You can literally just quickly touch up your blades, and it's something that pretty much anyone can use. So Blade Barber is definitely going to be a big must. From there, another little accessory that really does save you while you're out here is going to be some lip balm. Doesn't matter what type you have, but if you've seen Don't Be a Menace, you don't want to have crackhead lips while you're outside, or skating on the Fen or skating outside. It's cold, it's bitter, you're going to get dry lips, and you don't want them to crack, so having some lip balm is going to save you. Now, going inside the bag, taking a look at some of the stuff that I've got. This is going to be something that's new. These gloves from Third Assist. Now, aside from them looking like your retro kind of spec gloves that you used to see like in the olden days, they're actually incredibly functional. These are gloves that are designed for playing outside. Now, what I mean by that is they look like traditional hockey gloves. They're very comfortable, very padded, and they look pretty good in my opinion. But when you look inside, it's all synthetic fur with an extra liner to keep your wrist warm regardless of how you're moving around when you're stick handling, shooting. Now, these things are insane. They keep your hands toasty while you're outside. Right now it's about -5, and that's degrees Celsius. And these things have worked phenomenally well. When I'm just out here with my hands now, like when I'm filming, it is freezing. My hands are losing feeling, but these gloves really, really help to keep your hands warm and insulated. If anything, my hands actually get sweaty when I'm inside these gloves, but because they have that sleeve that kind of locks in your wrist and keeps it warm, no air is getting inside. So even though my hands are sweaty, they don't get cold. The only thing about these gloves is when you first get them, if you've got like a watch on or anything like that, it's really hard to get the gloves on and off if you're in between shifts on the ice, because this is quite restricting, but not in terms of your movement on the ice, just trying to get your hand in and out of it when they're a bit sweaty, because the liner can't sometimes sticks, but it's a really kind of like a tiny little minor negative. Aside from that, these are a must-have if you're playing outside. Everyone needs a pair of these. Now, something else that's in my bag, a big shout out to Third Assist. I have to show these. These aren't what I'm using today. Even look at the packaging, it's pretty sick. These are vintage style leather gloves that I think are just sick. This isn't something I'm using right now because they're not as warm as the other gloves, but purely for flair and style, these are sick. Third Assist also have your old school hockey sticks made out of wood. Now, these aren't composite sticks. They're not going to be light, but they just work so well with these gloves. So if you're looking for that old school vintage look, I just think these are a must-have for playing outside. You're not taking crazy shots on the ice, no slap shots, no crazy wrist shots. It's more of a friendlier version of hockey. So having a wooden stick and kind of taking it back to the roots while you're playing essentially where hockey started outside, I think is a really nice touch. So I just thought I'd quickly mention these. Now in terms of the stick I'm using on the ice, it's the Sherwood Code TMP Pro. This is a really nice stick. I like how it feels, especially when I'm playing outside. It's nice for stick handling, which is predominantly what you're doing when you're playing pond hockey. There's not a lot of crazy shooting on the ice. So that's the stick that I'm using. Aside from this, I will switch it up and use the wooden one every now and then as well, just because I think it looks pretty cool. From there, in terms of the skates that I've got, I'm using the ASVs from CCM, which is the model below the ASV Pros. Those are the skates that I actually use on a daily just because I don't need the ASV Pros. These are plenty stiff enough for me. They're comfortable. I don't think about them when I'm on the ice. And that kind of like summarizes pretty much everything I've got on the ice with me. Of course, last but not least, something I have to mention is the jersey. A lot of people don't really play with jerseys when they're on the ice because you don't really need to, maybe just a hoodie or something like that. But I love to play with a jersey on the ice. I think it kind of like adds to the whole thing of being outside getting to play hockey, because for England this is just something that we don't get to do very often. Every time it's been cold enough or it's frozen, I've either been out of the country or just nowhere near the location that it's been cold enough to be able to play outside. So this being a first for me, this week of playing outside, it's been absolutely unreal.
Now, when we take a look at Bombas, the sponsor of the video, these aren't just incredibly comfortable socks made from premium materials like extra long staple cotton that essentially shrinks minimally while it's washed and will hold up wear after wear. They're incredibly comfortable. They hug your feet whether you're wearing shoes or, in my case, playing on the pond and using my hockey skates. These types of socks can be used for day-to-day use and also for sports. But the main thing I love about this company is that they have a one purchase equals one donation ethos. What this means is essentially every single pair of Bombas socks that are purchased, Bombas will be donating one to homelessness. Bombas have had a mission to contribute towards the homeless community and encourage others to do so. It's a really nice way of being able to give back and also picking up a product that's not only useful, but is also incredibly comfortable. Now, really similar to our skates, Bombas socks also feature antimicrobial benefits, so they're able to fight odor and bacteria buildup. These socks are incredibly comfortable for day-to-day use and also for use on the ice, and they have a non-slip feature, which means when you put them on, regardless of how high you like to have your socks, they're not going to be slipping down or moving around in any ways that you don't want them to be doing so. These are incredibly comfortable socks, and I love the idea of every single pair of these socks that are sold, whoever buys them is contributing towards helping the homelessness community out there. Big thank you to Bombas for sponsoring this video.
And of course, something that goes without saying is going to be a flask full of something hot to drink, because it is freezing out here. Whether you've got Irish coffee in here or some hot chocolate, you definitely need to have a flask while you're playing outside because it is freezing cold. And of course, guys, if there's anything I've missed out that you like to have with you when you're playing outside or what's inside your pond hockey bag, make sure you comment down below and let me know what some of your essentials are. But as always, guys, big thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. Oh, it's so cold. You've got slow-mo on that, haven't you?
Yeah.